key components, quadrilaterals have four sides. Heights. Heights have two sets of consecutive congruent sides and no parallel lines. So consecutive congruent means in a row or next to each other, right? So those are consecutive congruent sides. But again, no parallel lines. All right, trapezoids. So trapezoids have exactly one set of parallel lines. Okay, so exactly one set of parallel lines. Then an isosceles trapezoid is going to be a trapezoid that also has two congruent legs. So remember, these are my parallel sides. The legs would have to be congruent. Again, we're not talking about all the different properties. Those are still important. But in terms of classifying what kind of quadrilateral it is, we only need to know a few key things. We good there? Okay, next is a parallelogram. So the parallelogram we know has two sets of parallel sides. Okay, so now the rest of these are all special parallelograms, right? So at their heart, they're still a parallelogram. But around this is also going to have the four congruent sides. So it's a parallelogram with four congruent sides. So if you don't want to write a parallelogram, remember you can just make the shape. This is the symbol for a parallelogram. Just drawing a parallelogram. You good there? Okay, then we have the rectangle. So rectangles are parallelogram with four right angles. All right, then finally we have a square. So a square is going to have the parallelogram, right? And it's also going to have four right angles and four congruent sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to, or I'm going to teach you in a minute how to build a table. But we're going to start with tables full of information, and we're just going to use that information to figure out what shape it is. And then we're going to talk about, while we're doing, we're going to talk about how to build it. Okay? Because I think if you build it the way I show you, I think it's quick and easy. Okay? Not that you can't do it a different way, but I think this is the faster. Okay, everybody good with those? Okay. Oh, sorry, I switched too fast. All right, so here we have quadrilateral ABCD. So remember, when I say ABCD, I'm I'm naming them in a circle, right? A, B, C, D, going around the shape of a circle. Okay, now, A, B, and C, D are listed first in my table. I did that because I like to list opposite sides together. Because I'm usually looking to see are opposite sides parallel. Okay, so I like to list opposite sides together. Same thing with B, C, and AD. I listed my opposite sides together there. So keep in mind, if lines are going to be parallel, then their slopes have to be equal, right? Okay, so slope is a big part of this. So if lines are parallel, their slopes are going to be equal. If lines are perpendicular, their slopes are going to be opposite reciprocals. Okay, so I put these two together because I want to know, are these two lines parallel? Yes, they're both the same number, right? That's one set of parallel sides. Are these two lines parallel? No, because they're different, right? So right now we've already decided we don't have a parallelogram because we don't have two sets of parallel sides. We have exactly one, so it has to be a trapezoid of some sort. Okay, so right now we decided that AB and CD are parallel here. So I want to know, are AD and BC, are they congruent? So my side lengths, are these two sides congruent? They're not, right? So it's just going to be a trapezoid. And that's it. Ready to look at the next one? Okay, so again, I have A, B, C, D. So I want to look for parallel lines. Do I have any parallel lines? 0 sets, right? So it can either be a kite or just a quadrilateral. So either a kite or just a plain old quadrilateral. Okay, so now I'm going to mark my drawing figure, A, B, C, D. Okay, so now I do see I have some repeat values here on my side lengths, right? So I know AB and BC are both the square root of 34. The other two sides are the square root of 58. So is it a kite or is it just a plain old quadrilateral? Does it have consecutive congruent sides? Yep. So this is a kite. Is that okay? All right, next one. So I'm looking for parallel sides. Do I have any parallel sides? How many sets? 2. So I know it's got to be a parallelogram of some sort, right? It's got to be a parallelogram of some sort. So now I kind of like to look at the side lengths. So are they all the same? No. So I can eliminate square and rhombus. So I just need to determine, is it a rectangle? Do I have right angles? So I really just want to focus on these two slopes right here. Because these are two lines that are intersecting. Okay, so are they opposite reciprocals? Do I have perpendicular slopes? No, we don't, right? Because if this is 0, this would have to be undefined. Or if this is 2, this would have to be negative 1/2 in order to have a right angle. So we don't have any right angles. We don't have 4 congruent sides. So this is just a parallelogram. All right, last one. Last one. We have parallel sides. Yep, how many sets? 2 sets of parallel sides. We got a parallelogram of some sort. Do we have 4 congruent sides? We do. So it's either got to be a square or a rhombus. So So now I need to check, do we have perpendicular slopes? Are they opposite reciprocals? They're not. They're opposite, but we don't have reciprocals, right? Okay, so we don't have a right angle to give us a square, so it's just going to be a rhombus. Is that okay? All right, so now, typically when we do these problems, there's two key formulas to know. That's slope and the distance formula. Okay, but that being said, you don't even have to write this down. We can count slope, rise over run, right? Typically faster than calculating. I'm going to teach you how to use Desmos to use the distance formula. Otherwise, you're doing the distance formula 4 times for every single problem. And that just makes you just stab yourself in the eye, right? You can't do that. So what I want you to do is either grab your phone or your Chromebook and go to desmos.com. Go to desmos.com. I'm going to teach you how to find the distance using this. You will have access to this on the air test. Okay, so you have access to Desmos and the distance function does work on the air test. So just go to Desmos and I'm going to teach you how to type it in. Does anybody need more time to get there? Okay, so all you have to do, you have to type in the word distance, and it's trying to guess what you're trying to type, so it starts looking funny. But once you put the last E in there, then it goes back to normal. And then you're going to start a parenthesis. And you can see it puts a finishing one on there for you. But within this parenthesis, we need to put both of our points. So we have to start another parenthesis. And we're going to find the distance between these 2 points up here that I have listed, just as an example. Okay. So you're going to put 3, I started a parenthesis, 3, comma 2, close my parenthesis, put a comma, and then the other one, the other point, -1, comma 5. And you can see, like, as soon as you start typing in that last coordinate, it starts telling you your distance. This one just happens to be nice, but this one, it'll round quite a ways. I mean, it'll give you a decimal place. It's pretty long. Okay, so you can use Desmos. When we do a quiz on this, you can use Desmos. Okay, if you really want to calculate it by hand, knock yourself out. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Because we didn't have enough time to get through everything, I want you to do the first problem on the back. I want you to try the first problem on the back. Okay, I want you to build your table. Okay, so remember your table is going to have slope and it's going to have distance or length, whatever you want to call it. If you're quick about it, you might be able to put in, like if you put your side lengths AB and CD, and then BC and AB, you might be able to get your lengths in right now since you have Desmos up. If you want, because your points are right up top. Okay, this is the only one you have to do tonight. Is that doable? Like, do you understand enough to build your table and go from there for one problem? Okay. Then tomorrow we'll talk about it. We'll do another problem together and then we'll just practice it.